A truly dark sky is not just a prettier ceiling of stars. It is a rare environmental condition, an ecosystem in its own right, where nocturnal animals navigate by starlight, where human eyes can reach their natural sensitivity, and where the Milky Way stops being a metaphor and becomes a visible structure. A pale river of unresolved starlight, dust lanes, and star-forming regions cutting across the night. In 2026, the best stargazing in the United States increasingly depends on places that treat darkness as a resource worth managing. Many of these landscapes are certified or widely recognized for night sky protection through the International Dark Sky Association, while others are celebrated by astronomers and travelers for the simple fact that they remain far from major light domes. The common thread is stewardship, careful outdoor lighting, public education, and a commitment to keeping the night intact. Before the itinerary begins, a quick note on what you're actually seeing when you see the Milky Way. The bright band is the disk of our galaxy viewed from inside it. In the darkest skies, you can trace the Great Rift, dark branching dust lanes that split the Milky Way's glow. And you may notice the Milky Way has texture, knots and patches where star clouds thicken. From the southern United States in spring and summer, the galactic core rises in the southeast and arches overhead, the most dramatic portion to photograph. Use a red light headlamp, let your eyes dark adapt for 20 to 30 minutes, and aim for moonless nights. If the moon is up, it can be beautiful, but it changes the show from galaxies and faint nebulae to high-contrast lunar landscapes and bright constellations. Now, 13 places where the night still feels ancient. Begin with Big Bend National Park, Texas, one of the largest protected dark regions in the lower 48, set along a famously remote curve of the Rio Grande. Big Bend's isolation is its superpower. The nearest big cities are far enough away that the sky can reach exceptional darkness. The Chisos Basin offers a high-elevation bowl with broad horizons, while the desert flats around Panther Junction and the Ross-Maxwell Scenic Drive can deliver a sweeping Milky Way arch. On the best nights, the zodiacal light, sunlight scattered by dust in the inner solar system, can rise like a faint triangular glow before dawn or after dusk. Big Bend also rewards patience with meteor showers. The Perseids in August and the Geminids in December can turn the desert into a quiet amphitheater of streaking light. Travel tip: summer days can be punishingly hot. Many visitors plan afternoon hikes and reserve the late night for stargazing, when temperatures finally ease and the sky becomes the main event. Northwest to New Mexico brings you to the Cosmic Campground International Dark Sky Sanctuary, near the small community of Glenwood. The name is not marketing, it's a statement of purpose. A sanctuary designation is reserved for places with exceptionally dark skies and strong protection, and Cosmic Campground sits in a sparsely populated corner of the Gila region where the Milky Way can look almost three-dimensional. This is a place for people who want the simplest ritual: park, step out, and look up. There are no lodge lights to dodge, no nearby neon. Bring everything you need, including warm layers. High desert nights can drop quickly, and consider binoculars. Under pristine skies, even modest binoculars can reveal star clusters sprinkled like salt across Sagittarius and Scorpius, and can pull the Andromeda galaxy out of the darkness as a soft, elongated glow. In Utah, Natural Bridges National Monument holds a special place in dark sky history. It was the first international dark sky park, recognized for both its darkness and its commitment to lighting that respects the night. The monument's stone bridges are the daytime headliners, but at night, the landscape becomes a silhouette stage for the Milky Way. The high desert air often runs clear, and the monument's relative compactness makes it easy to find a safe pull-out and settle in. If you're new to night photography, this is friendly terrain: stable ground, open sky, and dramatic foreground shapes. A useful detail for visitors is the way darkness is managed here. Downward shielded lighting, warmer color temperatures, and a culture of lights out after hours. The park demonstrates an important truth. Preserving darkness isn't only about remoteness, it's also about choices. Not far away, Bryce Canyon National Park offers a different kind of night. Bryce sits high, over 8,000 feet in many spots, and elevation matters. Thinner air can mean less scattering and often sharper transparency, so stars feel closer and more numerous. The hoodoos, those delicate towers of eroded rock, give you a natural skyline that looks carved for long-exposure photography. Bryce has long treated astronomy as part of its identity, hosting ranger programs and star parties that turn the amphitheaters into outdoor classrooms. On a clear summer night, you can watch the Milky Way arc above the hoodoos while learning how to pick out the summer triangle, how to recognize Scorpius low in the south, and how the ecliptic traces the path of the planets. In California, Death Valley National Park is counterintuitive. A place known for brutal heat becomes a sanctuary for night. Yet the same dryness that makes the days extreme often yields crisp, transparent evenings, and the park's vastness allows you to escape light pollution with ease. Mesquite Flat sand dunes can provide a clean horizon and a surreal foreground, while Badwater Basin offers an otherworldly salt flat that reflects starlight in a subtle sheen. Because the park is so large, plan your stargazing location with safety in mind. Cell service can be limited, distances are long, and nighttime driving demands caution for wildlife and fatigue. The reward is a sky where the Milky Way can appear bright enough to cast a faint suggestion of shadow, and where satellites and occasional meteors quietly stitch motion into the stillness. California's other great dark sky pilgrimage is Joshua Tree National Park, where the Mojave and Colorado deserts meet. Joshua Tree's nightscape has become part of its cultural identity, attracting photographers, climbers, and anyone drawn to desert minimalism. The park is close enough to Southern California that light domes can appear on the horizon, but in many areas the overhead sky remains strikingly dark, especially on clear, moonless nights. The Joshua trees themselves, with their eccentric branching forms, make iconic silhouettes against the Milky Way. If you visit in 2026, consider timing for the shoulder seasons, late fall or early spring, when the air is often clear, temperatures are comfortable, and the park's popularity is easier to manage. And remember, even a small white flashlight can ruin not only your own dark adaptation, but everyone else's. Red light and patience are part of the etiquette. For a different desert story, head to Arizona's Flagstaff area, where Lowell Observatory helped shape modern astronomy and where the city became the world's first international dark sky city. Nearby, Wupatki National Monument and Sunset Crater Volcano National Monument sit in a high desert landscape of lava flows, cinder cones, and ancient Puebloan sites. The night here carries both scientific and cultural weight. You're under skies that inspired early astronomical work in Flagstaff, and above lands that hold deep indigenous histories. Stargazing among volcanic fields adds an eerie geological foreground. Black rock absorbing the last daylight, then yielding to a sky where the Milky Way can look like smoke. Travel tip. High elevation means cold nights, even when the day feels warm. Pack layers and a windproof outer shell. In Arizona again, but farther east, Petrified Forest National Park and the surrounding painted desert offer a quieter, less crowded dark sky experience. The park's long vistas and open horizons suit wide-field Milky Way viewing, and the landscape's banded colors, reds, purples, and grays, take on a muted, cinematic tone under starlight. The petrified logs, once living trees in a Triassic ecosystem, become time capsules by day and eerie sculptures by night. A useful approach here is to arrive before sunset, learn the terrain, and choose a safe spot with a clear view. Night in open desert can feel disorienting. Knowing where you are before darkness falls makes the experience calmer and safer. Shift north to Colorado Plateau country for Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park, where the Gunnison River has carved a gorge so steep and narrow it swallows sunlight for much of the day. That same dramatic topography creates a powerful night setting, a dark void below, an immense sky above. The canyon rims offer wide views, and the park's relative remoteness helps preserve the night. Here, the experience isn't just the Milky Way, it's the sense of scale. The canyon suggests depth beneath your feet, while the galaxy suggests depth above your head. In 2026, as more people chase night skies, places like Black Canyon remind you that darkness is also a mood, silence, space, and a horizon that doesn't glitter with development. In the northern Rockies, Glacier National Park in Montana delivers a different kind of darkness, one shaped by water and ice. The park's high peaks and glacial valleys can create pockets of extraordinary night, especially away from developed areas. Under clear conditions, the Milky Way can appear as a bright, granular band over jagged ridgelines, and the still surfaces of lakes can double the sky in reflection. Late summer and early fall often provide longer stretches of stable weather, while winter skies can be exceptionally clear for those prepared for serious cold and road closures. A practical note: wildlife is active at dawn and dusk, and that includes nighttime. Keep distance, carry proper safety gear, and avoid wandering off-trail in darkness. Farther west, in Idaho, Craters of the Moon National Monument and Preserve offers one of the most visually striking foregrounds for stargazing in America. A sea of basalt, spatter cones, and lava tubes that looks like a terrestrial cousin of lunar terrain. The dark rock absorbs light and creates high contrast with the sky, making stars seem unusually crisp. The monument's geology also makes for a satisfying pairing with astronomy. You can spend the day learning how eruptions built these features, then spend the night watching the Milky Way and considering a broader volcanic story that extends to other worlds. Bring a sturdy flashlight with a red mode and watch your footing. Lava fields are uneven, and the night can turn a simple walk into a hazard if you're careless. In the Pacific Northwest, Oregon Caves National Monument and Preserve offers a night sky experience that is often overlooked because the region is better known for forests and coastline. Yet when conditions align, clear air after a passing front, a moonless night, and a break in cloud cover, the darkness can be superb. The monument's mountainous, forested setting changes the stargazing style. Fewer sweeping horizons, more framed views through treetops and ridgelines. It becomes intimate, like looking up from a natural cathedral. If you visit, keep expectations flexible. Coastal and mountain weather can be unpredictable. The best nights feel earned, and they can be unforgettable. In the southeast, where humidity and development often soften the night sky, Florida's Kissimmee Prairie Preserve State Park stands out as a rare, wide-open, dark place. This is cattle country turned conservation landscape, with flat horizons that make it excellent for watching the Milky Way rise and for catching meteor showers. The openness also makes it a strong site for spotting satellites and the slow crawl of the International Space Station when it passes overhead. In warm months, insects can be intense. Pack repellent and consider lightweight long sleeves. The prairie's soundscape, frogs, insects, night birds, adds a living texture that desert parks don't have, a reminder that darkness supports entire communities of creatures. Finally, in the Northeast, where major cities crowd the map, Cherry Springs State Park in Pennsylvania has become a legend among amateur astronomers. It's one of the darkest publicly accessible sites in the eastern United States, and its astronomy field is designed with stargazers in mind. On a good night, the Milky Way is not merely visible, it is structured, with mottled star clouds and dark lanes that surprise visitors who thought such skies only existed out west. Cherry Springs also illustrates the social side of astronomy. You may find telescopes set up in quiet rows, people sharing views of Saturn's rings or the craters of the moon, and conversations that drift from equipment to mythology to astrophysics. If you want to learn quickly, few places offer such a concentrated community of night sky knowledge. Across these 13 destinations, the thread is not just beauty, it's responsibility. Light pollution is one of the most solvable environmental problems, yet it grows easily. Unshielded fixtures, overly bright LEDs, blue-rich color temperatures, and lighting that spills upward rather than down onto the ground where it's needed. Dark sky parks and sanctuaries model a different approach. Shielded lights, warmer tones, motion sensors, and a cultural norm that values darkness as part of the visitor experience. When you travel to these places in 2026, you're not only consuming a view, you're participating in a conservation idea. Your choices matter. Turn off unnecessary lights, keep camp illumination low, respect quiet hours, and help others preserve their night vision. And then, when the last twilight drains from the horizon, look for the simplest anchor points: the bright star Vega in summer, the curve of the Big Dipper in spring, Orion in winter. Let your eyes adjust. Notice how the sky changes minute by minute, how the Milky Way brightens as you stop searching for it, how a meteor can cut through your field of view like a brief signature, how the galaxy's pale band is not a backdrop but a direction, pointing you inward toward the crowded center of the Milky Way and outward toward the thinner, darker reaches where our solar system drifts. In a truly dark place, the sky stops being scenery and becomes geography. You leave with a better sense of where you are, not just on Earth, but inside a galaxy that is suddenly, unmistakably visible.